report about some threat litigation. Back on June 5th, our office received a letter from Eric Cardall to my attention regarding notification of representation of Deb Russian. And it's very brief, I'll read it to you. Dear Mr. Nordstrom, my office is representing Wabasha Board of Commissioner member Deb Russian regarding matters related to possible legal claims against certain individual county officials or employees and Wabasha County. We are presently investigating those claims. I'm informing you of this as a matter of professional courtesy. A very vague letter that didn't include any detail, which kind of put us in a pickle in terms of how we're going to deal with Commissioner Russian. So I did fax him and write him a letter the following day, and in part I said I need in writing a specific outline of circumstances that Wabasha County board members, elected officials, and employees can have direct contact with your client. After that, we contacted I did not receive any response to my June 6th letter. We contacted him again on June 12th regarding this and a data request, asking him to get back to us. We did not receive response from that email. We contacted him again last Friday on June 14th, and I want to read part of that. Over the past week, the Wabasha County Attorney's Office has sought clarification about the scope of your representation of Commissioner Russian as it relates to potential claims that you are investigating against the county and its personnel. As of this date, no clarification has been provided. Wabasha County wishes to ensure that Commissioner Russian is able to fulfill her duties as County Commissioner. To do so, we understand it may be necessary for her to have contact with certain Wabasha County personnel. However, without giving consent to contact Ms. Russian for specific purposes, or without further clarification of your potential claims, it may not be possible to respond to her contacts. So we again asked him to get a hold of us so we could work out some sort of guidelines so that Ms. Russian can continue her work as a commissioner, and public officials, your employees in the county can be protected from possible civil claims by Ms. Russian. We contacted him again yesterday, June 17th, by letter. I quoted in the letter one of our rules. In representing a client, a lawyer shall not communicate about the subject of the representation with a person the lawyer knows to be represented by another lawyer in the matter, unless the lawyer has the consent of the other lawyer or is authorized to do so by law or a court order. We don't know what the matter is. We don't know what the matters are. We've had no contact with Mr. Cardall, so specifically with our office. We've talked this over with the Board of Professional Responsibility. We do not feel comfortable communicating with Ms. Russian unless and until we get clarification from Mr. Cardall. He's not responded. We didn't hear anything from him today either. MCIT has also been notified of this. I've talked to their senior claims manager. MCIT has written Mr. Cardall, and to the best of my knowledge, he has not responded to them as yet either. So you have an update. My advice to you as board members is to not have contact with Commissioner Russian outside board meetings until we hear from Mr. Cardall and we have a better delineation of exactly what this is about. That's all I've got.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Sure.
If there is no lawsuit, it says potential. If there is, what does that mean? I mean, as a parsed word, there's the possibility, or, you said there's a potential, is the word you used, I believe?
I think his words were possible claims against
Okay.
Wabasha County officials, employees, and the county. Our responsibility as county attorney and assistant county attorney is to protect the county from liability. Not knowing what this is about, we have a very difficult time advising you as county commissioners who may well be sued, since it specifically mentions county officials, or any of the employees that work here, because it mentions employees. And that's why we asked for him to give us some details, some information about what this is about, but we get no response, so I can't tell you what it's about.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I thought, if you're suing somebody, you've probably already presented evidence of what has happened, and maybe going forth wouldn't be relevant to what has already occurred. I mean, that would be,
Well,
if I was an attorney, that would be the basis that I would ask for. What did they do,
Well, There is a law in Minnesota statute that requires that if you're going to sue a municipality, the county is one, you have to give a specific notice. And that notice needs to have more detail. This isn't an actual notice of that claim, but it puts us in a very difficult position of how we're going to advise you as board members, because we don't want you to expose yourselves to liability, nor do we want anybody else in the county to be exposed to liability. I'm amazed that he hasn't gotten back to us, but he
I'm
has.
just trying to understand, you know.
So am I.
So for staff, as is, what was, we were told at the department head meeting, we should continue that way?
Yes.
Thank you.
And as soon as he gets back to me, I will contact all the employees and the board members and let us know what the parameters we're working under. That's all I'm asking of him.
Can you clarify what was said at the department head meeting?
I made the department head members aware of this letter. I advised them that we had sent the letter to Mr. Cardell asking for clarification and had not heard back from him. In the meantime, I recommended that board not be directly involved with Commissioner Russian until we have some clarification.
At department heads, you mean? I think you
Yes.
said board.
I'm sorry, department heads.
I guess I'm just, you know, and I understand the legal positions that are out here. I just don't want to see this board or a member of this board get marginalized and find out that it was all for nothing, because that's destructive to anybody in a community, you know, no matter who it is.
And I agree with you, and that's why we asked for clarification. We want Ms. Russian to be able to continue operating as a commissioner. That's why we asked for clarification, so that we know where each of us has consent to have contact with her. Not getting any response from him, it's very difficult to advise anyone here, or for us to deal with her since we're lawyers.
Okay, but when you're elected to an office, and I'm just asking some devil's
Sure.
advocate question. When
Go
you're
ahead.
elected to an office, is it my position to say, I don't like this person or that person, and therefore, because I'm in a little bit higher authority or have special credentials, that don't associate with her, or him, or whatever?
It has nothing to do with liking or not liking
Well,
someone.
I know, but you see where I'm coming to?
No.
That this thing is, we're damaging a person. Somebody's damaging a person by excluding them from a job that they were elected to.
Who started this?
Well, who's carrying it on? You know, I mean,
You know, I have
I
responsibilities
understand.
as a county attorney,
No.
and I'm trying to fulfill them.
and I understand that.
I reviewed this thoroughly with the Board of Professional Responsibility, and the board agrees with me.
Okay, you know.
Maybe we can ask Commissioner Russian, she's here, she hired an attorney, maybe she can clear up some of these issues so that we can continue business, which is all the Wabasha County residents have really requested us to do.
What are you asking?
The purpose of you hiring an outside, or hiring an attorney to represent you.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
I figured you wouldn't be.
What date?
Go
Your
ahead.
packet was mailed to your attorney, that's why you didn't get it.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Commissioner Wabi?
Commissioner Harms, you allocated that it was picking on or signaling out, you know, commissioner or wherever, or a person. You know, it wouldn't be any different than if Terry Smith, who's not an elected person, files it against Gil Glipsky sitting out here in the audience.
It's Gillespie.
Gillespie, I'm sorry. You know, if you were in their shoes, would you respond directly to Terry? Honestly?
Honestly,
Heck no, you'd go to your lawyer.
well, let's put it this way. In our society, in our justice system, and civil law or whatever law, we were innocent until proven guilty. You know, and in my opinion, and this is only my opinion and my way of looking at things, is that she hasn't done any legal action, but there's sanctions being taken against her because there's the possibility of legal action. I think she should be treated as a commissioner, that she has the full rights of that elected office, And for us to deviate from them, in my opinion, is digging a deeper hole for the board and the county residents of this county.
You've treated her as a
You got
commissioner
my-
the last 3 hours plus.
Okay, that's just my opinion. She didn't get a packet in the mail, she said. Everybody else did. What does mailing a packet of business that she has to conduct at a meeting have to do with not communicating?
So it's over the packet is what we're
Well-
talking about.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that ain't what you implied
What
earlier.
what if the hiring of an attorney had something to do with any of those topics on that agenda? It'll
Well, we can
county
go-
up-
we can
Well,
go-
but this is what I'm saying,
and
until
I-
we can get that clarification, and it's been requested numerous times, and it doesn't surprise me we haven't gotten anything, because that's the way this attorney seems to operate. But that puts us in a very difficult spot, and we'll just wait till we hear from them.
You know, and I'm not taking sides in this thing, I'm just saying.
Well, yes, you are, Dave.
Well, okay,
Okay,
you know,
let's not go there.
I mean, I worked as a police officer, and we were taught that people are, you write a ticket, but they still have their day at court. You know, and if you wanna say that I'm taking sides, in that respect, I'm taking sides. Yes, I
I
am.
just want to clarify one thing. Anyone has a right to sue anybody, whether their claim has got merit or it's frivolous. There's nothing in what we have done to prevent anybody, Ms. Russian specifically, from commencing any civil litigation. What we're trying to do is figure out parameters that we can work under, whether or not she does, while this investigation, whatever it is going on, or what, if she commences litigation, for her to operate as a commissioner effectively, and for you as commissioners to work with her effectively, and for staff in the county to be able to work with her effectively without stepping on some legal trap that's going to end up causing more potential liability or some potential liability for the county. That's all this is about. If we'd have gotten clarification from Mr. Cardall within a reasonable time, we wouldn't even be having this discussion.
Okay.
All right. I think that's enough of that discussion. Let's move, I'm gonna ask you, commissioners, do you want to go to commissioner reports, or because of the hour, would you like to put them till the next meeting?
I'd like to push it off unless I don't care, whatever.
The rest of you?
Whatever,
I
I've
mean,
had 8 different stops since the last meeting, but we can just keep adding to it. No problem.
if you've got that many, maybe we better go through them. Let's go ahead. Are you ready, Commissioner Levy?
Absolutely.
Well, let's go.
I had a common board meeting on the 5th, the city and school. Something, we talked about County Road 30 here progressing, and something I believe is coming